been told by a fellow officer that you've been verbally abusive in a public place, which would be a Section 4A public order.
I have it all
offence.
recorded, officer.
That's fine. Please,
She's
officer.
lied to you. Now you threatened me with arrest, which has now made me have to give my details. So I will have to make a call to my...
For any particular purpose? Is it a hobby? Is it a research project? Anything like that?
I don't know yet. At the minute, just sort of flying around, see what happens.
Right. I understand an officer's just tried to have a word with you on the way into the car park.
She sort of shouted at me in a plain clothes, personal car, so I didn't have a clue who she was.
Apparently you've told her to pee off.
Did I?
That's what she said to us. If that's the case, that's not acceptable, is it?
Well, that's why we wear independent witnesses that never lie.
Right. What do you mean by that? Right, okay. Well, yeah, I've got mine on as well, so...
Well, thanks for letting me know.
Can I take your details just so we know what you're doing, and you're recorded on our systems, and we've got the fact what you're doing, and to make sure you're not up to no good?
No, I'd rather not, if that's okay.
Okay. Why is that?
Because I haven't done anything wrong.
Well, I just need to make sure that you're not like sort of in line with any terrorist groups or anything like that you could be using for hostile reconnaissance or anything of that nature.
Do you suspect I'm a terrorist officer?
Well, I don't know until I speak to you. Do I? Until I take your details and check you through.
Is that what you do with everybody?
If you're verbally abusive to people, then you have technically committed a public order offence for which I would require your details.
Okay.
They rushed toward him already convinced of a version of events, claiming he insulted the sergeant and treating it like it's proven. But News Now Yorkshire doesn't get dragged into a pointless argument. Instead, he stays calm and focused, making it clear he won't accept claims without proof. He keeps his ground and doesn't let the situation spiral into confusion or emotion. This approach quickly shifts the tone and puts attention back on facts rather than assumptions. He immediately points to his body camera, reminding them why independent recording is so important. It's a simple but powerful move that changes everything in that moment. One side is relying on words, while the other has actual recorded evidence. That difference becomes obvious right away and highlights how uneven the situation really is. It also reinforces the value of transparency and accountability when tensions rise. Then the situation takes a more serious turn. When he declines to share his personal details, the reasoning suddenly shifts to checking possible links with extremist groups. This claim doesn't come across as a genuine concern, but rather as a way to pressure him. It feels like an attempt to push him into compliance instead of following a fair process. The shift in tone makes the intent behind the questioning much more noticeable.
So that's why I'm asking you for them as well.
Right.
So could I have your name and date of birth and address, please?
What, you think I've committed a public order offence?
Yes, because an officer's just told me that you've sworn at her in the street.
Well, I need to get her to make that statement then, because she's lying.
Well, she's just told me as she's driven in that you've sworn at her.
Did she?
Yeah.
Right, well, I'll be making a complaint about her then.
That's absolutely
And if you
fine.
take my details, I will have to sue West Yorkshire Police.
That's not a problem. You feel free to do so. The reason I've explained the reasons why I'm asking you for your details.
What happens if I don't give my details?
Then you're potentially committing an offence.
Well, I will.
It's a lot easier if you do, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't want to give my details.
Okay.
I will if you tell me that I'll be arrested if I don't.
Well, potentially you may be. Yeah, it may make your arrest necessary under Section 24 of the Police and Criminal Evidence Act because your name and address can't be verified.
Right.
And I've got reasonable grounds to suspect that you've committed an offence.
What reasonable grounds is that?
But I've been told by a fellow officer that you've been verbally abusive in a public place, which would be a Section 4A public order.
I have it all
offence.
recorded, officer.
That's fine.
Do you want me to show you the recording?
Not at the moment, but I want.
Because I could show you the recording.
I want you to.
And then you would know.
Details, and I've explained it to you. You've asked me to explain it to you, and I've laid it out plain and simple.
This is the point where the reasoning starts to fall apart. They insist a public order offense has taken place, not because of any clear action, but simply because the sergeant claims it did. When News Now Yorkshire calmly asks what happens if he refuses to provide his details, the response goes in circles. The explanation doesn't actually clarify anything and only adds more confusion. It ends up sounding like a claim built on assumption rather than solid ground. They then suggest he might have committed another offense, which they say could lead to arrest. But that kind of reasoning doesn't hold up. It comes across as repeating the same threat in different words instead of presenting real justification. Mentioning Section 24 pace only makes the weakness more obvious. Arrest powers aren't based on rank or convenience. They require clear and reasonable evidence. Without that, the argument loses credibility very quickly. I end this situation. Everything rests on a colleague's claim, even when there's an opportunity to confirm the truth right away. Footage is available that could resolve the issue instantly, yet they choose not to review it. That decision stands out. When evidence that could clear things up is ignored, it raises serious questions about intent. It suggests the goal may not be to find the truth, but to push a particular outcome.
I don't think I have to give my details, officer.
You do.
I do.
You've been verbally abusive towards somebody.
I haven't though.
She's alleging that you have.
I haven't though.
As I said before, I've got reasonable grounds to suspect that you've committed a public order offence.
But I haven't.
Okay, listen to me. Because of that nature, that's why I require your details. And
right.
as I've explained to you, if you don't give me your name and address, and can't verify who you are, it may make your arrest necessary in order to ascertain those details.
Will you arrest me if I don't?
I'm not saying I definitely will, but I'm saying it may make your arrest necessary.
Am I being detained right now?
At the moment, because I need your details.
Yeah, I'm being detained.
Potentially, if you don't give me your details, you may be arrested, is what I'm saying.
No, I just want to check if I'm being detained right now.
I understand why you can't just give me your details.
I'd rather not. That's the point.
But I'm asking you to.
If I have to by law, then I will.
You do have to by law, yeah.
Okay, and what section of law says I have to?
I'm telling you that because you committed an offence.
I haven't though.
I suspect that you have.
You suspect that I have?
I suspect that you have.
Okay.
I only need reasonable grounds to suspect. That's 2 to 3 out of 10 on the scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
I've got that reasonable suspicion.
Yeah. Can you let me know that lady's name or collar number?
She's a sergeant who was off duty at the time, coming into work for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Because
she's a police officer.
lied to you. Now you've threatened me with arrest, which has now made me have to give my details. So I will have to make a call to my solicitor.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah. Okay.
You go right ahead.
They corner him with a claim that doesn't really hold up, presenting it as if it's a valid reason. The message is simple. If they can't confirm who he is, they'll arrest him just to find out. But that's not how things are supposed to work. It sounds less like a lawful step and more like a way to push him into giving information. The situation starts to feel controlled rather than fair. What's really happening is that they want his details and are using the threat of arrest to get them. But arrest isn't meant to be used just because someone chooses not to cooperate. It also shouldn't rely on a single claim that hasn't been checked. At this stage, the idea of reasonable grounds doesn't seem very reasonable anymore. It feels more like a convenient excuse, shaped to fit the outcome they want. That's why the pressure begins to have an effect. Faced with the risk of being taken in over a weak justification, he decides to give his details to avoid things getting worse. It's not because he believes he's required to, but because the situation has been pushed to a point where resisting feels risky. The pressure leaves him with very little real choice. In the end, this isn't true agreement. It's giving in to avoid further trouble.
I can't believe she lied to you, officer. I have got it all recorded though, just so you know.
If you want to make a complaint.
Yeah, I will be making a complaint straight away. Yeah, definitely.
I haven't got
Is that what she actually said to you? I told her to pee off.
As I drove out of the gate, she was driving in and she said, "Will I have a word with you?"
Yeah.
Because she'd spoken to you and you told her to. I'm not going to say the full word. But pee off. You understand what I mean by that?
I understand what you're saying, but she's lying to you. You know that, don't you?
Well, if she's lying to me, she's lying to me. If it's on your camera, then you've got grounds for a complaint.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But I'm not lying to you. I can only go about.
You know, last time this happened, I got £1,000 for it. You know.
Right.
Yeah. That was at Humberside though.
What was that? What was that in relation to though?
Because someone said I was committing antisocial behaviour, so the officer unlawfully used Section 50 of the Police Reform Act to gain my details, just like you've unlawfully used Section 5 to gain my details. Okay. And then they offered me £1,000 for my trouble.
I haven't used Section 5.
Oh, what did you use?
You've potentially committed an offence under Section 4A of the Public Order Act.
Oh, okay. Section 4A.
Yeah.
And that requires me to give my details.
It doesn't require you to give your details.
You just told me it did.
What I'm saying, no, you're twisting my word.
The officer keeps falling back on the word potentially. Potentially an offense, potentially a violation, potentially this or that. That single word ends up carrying the whole argument because there's nothing solid behind it. Instead of pointing to something clear and proven, the explanation stays vague and uncertain. It starts to sound like guesswork rather than a firm position based on facts. When Section 4A Public Order Act 1986 is mentioned, it doesn't really fit the situation being described. That section requires clear intent and a real effect on someone, not just the idea that something might have happened. Speculation alone isn't enough to apply it. Without evidence of both intent and impact, the claim doesn't meet the standard it's supposed to. This makes the reasoning behind it look even weaker. What makes things more confusing is how the section keeps changing during the exchange. One moment it's one power being mentioned, then it shifts to another, and then something else entirely. That doesn't look like careful thinking. It looks like uncertainty. If there were a clear offense, the legal basis wouldn't keep shifting around. And despite all these references, none of them suddenly give a right to demand his personal details without proper grounds.
What I'm saying to you is because I've got reasonable grounds to suspect that you've committed an offence. Yeah. If you don't give me your details, it may make your arrest necessary under Section 24 of PACE.
Oh, okay.
Because your name and address cannot be verified.
Right.
And I suspect that you've committed an offence.
Well, that's the full explanation. Thank you for that.
That's what I said to you the first time.
Well, I didn't get that explanation, so maybe you didn't explain it properly, and maybe I didn't understand.
Well, you understand it now, though.
I do, 100%. Yeah, yes. I can't believe she lied to you, and she's a sergeant. She's going around lying to you guys. you want me to show you the video?
No.
Is it because you know that she's lying?
I don't know that she's lying.
I think you know. I think you know. I think you do know.
We're literally just going off what we've been told.
Yeah, what you've been told is a lie, though, is what I'm saying. I could show you the video now and show you that she's lying. What do you guys reckon? Your personal opinion?
My personal opinion doesn't matter. I don't work. My personal opinion has to stay at home when I come to work.
Well, use your detective skills then. What do you think?
This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Speaking to you.
Well, yeah, I could have showed you the video.
To find out your version of events.
No, what you're doing is getting my details unlawfully.
Okay. I'm not. I've already explained to you the reason why.
I could have showed you the video and then you would have no reason to get my details.
If you're happy to show me the video, I'm happy to watch it. It's not a problem.
Well, there's no point now because you've already given my details.
This is the point where any sense of fairness starts to fade. He keeps offering a simple solution. Just watch the footage, but they refuse every time. Instead of checking something that could settle the situation right away, they avoid it. One officer even admits she's relying only on what she's been told. That's not a proper evaluation. It shows a lack of independent thinking and raises concerns about how the situation is being handled. With News Now Yorkshire standing there ready to show clear evidence, his explanation isn't properly considered. It's brushed aside without real attention. They choose second-hand claims over video that's available on the spot. That decision makes it seem like they're protecting a version of events instead of trying to confirm what actually happened. The focus shifts away from truth and toward maintaining a narrative. Then, only after they've already taken his details, the footage suddenly becomes important. That timing stands out. If the video truly mattered, it would have been the first thing they checked. Looking at it afterward doesn't feel like an honest attempt to investigate. It comes across more as an effort to manage the situation after decisions have already been made.
So I might as well speak to my solicitor now and get my £1,000.
You've offered to show me the video, then that's fine.
Yeah. You'll see that your sergeant's a liar.
Well, show me it if you want to show me it. I'm not bothered.
Am I being detained?
No, you're free to go. Thank you for giving me your details. Just be careful where you're flying it.
No, I won't.
Obviously, bear in mind that side of the gate and the fence is private property.
Oh no, I've already been over there.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go over again.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
But bear in mind that you may be spoken to again by an officer if it's deemed that your drone's interfering with any police activities or anything like that.
All right, well, I've got permission to be here.
From
the Civil Aviation Authority.
Okay, have you got that in writing? Have you got anything on you can show me to confirm that?
Do I need to?
Well, I'm not just going to believe you, am I?
Well, I'm not just going to believe you that your sergeant's a liar.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to get drawn into this back and forth with you.
You've already been drawn into it.
I've spoken to you. I've ascertained what you're doing. As long as you're not interfering
what happened
with
to the
police
Section
activities,
4A?
That's fine. I'm not going to take any further action against it.
No further action?
Yeah.
Why? Because you know that she's a liar?
I'm going to give you words of advice.
No, I don't want your words of advice.
Well, I'm going to offer you
can
them.
stick your words of advice.
Right, I'm going to offer you them anyway.
No, I don't want them.
The moment they get his details, everything suddenly comes to a halt. There's no follow-up, no action, and no sign that they want to take things any further. All the earlier claims about public order, serious concerns, and legal sections simply disappear. That kind of sudden shift doesn't happen by accident. It strongly suggests those points were never as solid as they were made to seem, that if any of those claims had real weight, they wouldn't have been dropped so quickly. Issues that genuinely matter don't just vanish the second basic information is collected. But here, that's exactly what happens. With News Now Yorkshire standing there, it becomes clear that resolving a real problem was never the focus. The entire interaction appears to have been centered on finding out who he was. Once the goal is achieved, everything else loses importance. There's no next step because there was never a real plan beyond that point. The legal terms and references used earlier don't lead anywhere meaningful. Instead, they come across as tools used to reach a specific outcome. In the end, it feels less like a process of justice and more like a strategy to get what they wanted.
That's why you speak to people in future.
But I didn't speak to anybody in any... she's a liar. I never told her to pee off. She's an absolute liar. I will be making a complaint. I will be suing. Thank you very much. What's your details?
6468.
From the station?
Yep.
Your details?
290.
From the station?
Yep.
And her details?
She'll find those out for you. I believe her name's Sergeant Wiltshire, or Wiltshire, my apologies.
Sergeant Wiltshire?
Yep.
And her numbers?
I don't know them.
Well, I need her numbers.
I don't know them.
We'll have to radio through then.
I don't know them.
She's the one that made the complaint. I need to make a complaint about the lying sergeant.
Just ask to speak to Sergeant Wiltshire. She works on Team 4 Patrol South at Ellen Road. That's all you'll need.
Well, can't you just radio through and ask for her details?
No, because she's not actually on duty at the moment, because she was in, as you said, she was in a civilian car in a civilian clothing, so she's...
You could ring the control room and ask what her call number is.
I can't do that at the moment because I'm too busy, but you've got all the details.
But you weren't too busy to come and stop to talk to me?
Thank you very much.
Yeah? See you later, sausages.
I prefer bacon.
He makes it clear that this situation is heading to court because the entire encounter was built on claims that don't match what actually happened. A sergeant says he used offensive language, but he denies it, and no one checks the available footage to confirm the truth. Instead, other officers repeat the claim as if it's already proven. At the same time, the threat of arrest is used to push him into giving his details. Once they get that information, everything else fades away, which raises serious concerns about how the situation was handled. This goes beyond a simple disagreement. It points to authority being used in a way that doesn't align with proper process. When claims are accepted without verification and evidence is ignored, it leaves very little room for fairness. That's why taking the matter to court becomes necessary. It's the only place where facts are expected to come first. News Now Yorkshire highlights this clearly, showing how quickly assumptions can take over when accountability is missing. When he asks for identification details like caller numbers, the response isn't a clear refusal. It's brushed off. Suddenly, they claim to be too busy to provide even basic information that would allow the situation to be reviewed properly. Yet just minutes earlier, time didn't seem to be an issue when they were stopping him, questioning him, and pushing for his personal details. That contrast stands out and says a lot about priorities in that moment. They act quickly when they want answers from him, but become unavailable when he asks for transparency in return. Evidence that could have cleared the situation is ignored, while information that could support a complaint is treated as unimportant. The pattern is clear. Escalate the situation, apply pressure, and keep pushing until compliance is achieved. After that, they step back with no further action, no follow-up, and no real interest left. If this had truly been about a serious concern, it wouldn't have ended so abruptly once they got what they wanted. The way it wraps up reveals what the focus really was from the start. And if you found this breakdown useful, consider supporting News Now Yorkshire by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people can stay informed about situations like this.